Ramsdale in goal, Trippier, Chow, Byrne and Hall at the back, Ramsey, Tonali and Joel Linton in midfield. Still no injured Bruno Guimaraes. Elanga and Barnes are two wide men, Oshala in attack. We're off and underway. Quickly run through the Barcelona side for you. Garcia in goal, Cancelo, Araujo, Kubasi and Martin, Pedri and Bernal in midfield, Lopez, Yamal and Rafinha supporting Lewandowski, who's only got 13 goals this season in attack. I don't think there's ever been such a lean period of time in the last 20 years when he scored that fewer goals in the season, but 13 still a good return from the 37-year-old, and he's chasing after the ball at the moment. It's going to come to Ramsdale though, and he clips a long ball forward, knocked over with Elanga by Gerard Martin. More of a coming together than a foul. Oshala is in there, and so is Joel Linton, and that's going to be a free kick, a foul on Bernal by Joel Linton. Slightly over exuberant there, Joel Linton. And the Toon Army giving away the first free kick of the game. And high tempo, high octane, high stakes for this one. Barcelona in their salmon orange away kit. And the clearance away by Kubasi, the young defender. It struck Ursula, who's off on the run. It's back with goalkeeper Garcia. He lifts it out to the far side, which is the left-hand side. Rashford amongst the subs for Barcelona this evening as the ball comes to Trippier, and he manages to get it wide quickly to Elanga. Elanga goes on the outside. Can he get a cross in? Yes, he can. And it was a panic clearance up in the air from Gerard Martin, and Newcastle United have an early corner here at St James's Park. So a corner to Toon Army. It's going to be taken on the right hand side. Hooked in, and the goalkeeper came a long way across his goal before Garcia flicked it out, and then it's taken by Lamine Yamal. He's got the confidence of an ox, hasn't he? And he's given it away. Newcastle starting with a high tempo here, but this is where they've got to be really careful. Lamine Yamal in the number 10 shirt now, of course, for Barcelona on his near side, 18. He's got no fewer than 17 goals this season as the ball is played into the penalty area. It's a chance there for Jacob Ramsey, who rattles it against the legs of Pedri and behind for a corner kick to Newcastle United. So a corner to Newcastle United, which is an opportunity to get Dan Byrne back forward again. And Malik Chow, 4 goals in the Premier League this season and 1 in the Champions League in there as well. It's clawed away, it's headed to Tuali. It slipped through the goalkeeper's hands and it's cleared away in a hurry by Paul Kubasi. And Newcastle United putting a strain on Barcelona early on here. Great ball in, and it was Tonali's header from outside the box, returning it back in. And Dan Byrne blinded the goalkeeper by being in his way. And it slipped through his hands, and it wouldn't quite come to Byrne, and it was Kubasi who was able to clear away. Marcus Rashford is actually on the bench today. He is their joint top scorer with Fermin Lopez in the Champions League, 5 goals. But Newcastle United's top talisman in this competition is Anthony Gordon. He's been banging in the goals, top scorer in the competition with 11 goals. Here comes the throw-in. 10 goals, I beg your pardon. 11 cup goals, but one of them was in the FA Cup. So, time for quiet really from a perspective of the visitors Barcelona, who have been treated to the roar of the St James's Park faithful. He's cleared away by Gerard Martin and turned back to goalkeeper Ramsdale, who hasn't seen much of the ball so far, out to the left hand side. It was just slightly too much punch on it for Lewis Hall, and it slips off his toes and out for a throw-in to Barcalona, who will want to settle into this game a bit better. Newcastle know that the only chance of silverware this season is now the Champions League after crashing out of the FA Cup against Manchester City here on Saturday evening. Lamau all the way back to his goalkeeper Juan Garcia, 25-year-old, former Espanyol shot stopper. Former Arsenal goalkeeper Wojciech Szczesny on the bench. Trippier plays it back, and here's Chow. Lifts a high ball out to the left-hand side, taken on the chest by Newcastle United's left-back Hall, and he's arced to run past Lamau, and he slips the ball through, and this is a good run here for Osula. Osula's into the penalty area, stumbles, but still got it. Osula, can he get the shot away? Well, in the end, it was a good challenge on him by Gerard Martin, but that was terrific play by Lewis Hall, who slipped it through. It's a perfect run into the gap from Osula. Well, he's a hard-working so-and-so, is Osula, and he's a bag of tricks. He's really got to put everything into it tonight, hasn't he, Osula? And that's a good start from him. I know he slowed up a little bit there, and in the end, the experience of Gerard Martin to get back and put the block in. It does mean it's a corner. It does mean that Chow and Byrne are back in there, and it does mean that Tonali will swing this in from the left. Deep delivery, too close to goalkeeper Juan Garcia, and bowls it out carefully to the left-hand side. And Gerard Martin, long ball forward up towards Lewandowski, who's not yet touched the ball, I don't think. Likewise, Rafina, not had a sniff yet. Barcelona into the midfield area. It's a good turn by Jacob Ramsey. He's given the ball away momentarily there. Quickly fights back, bites back, and wins the ball. And, a big evening of Champions League football. Newcastle United 0, Barcelona 0, 7 minutes gone, and Newcastle on the attack again with Harvey Barnes cutting in from the left-hand side. Still Harvey Barnes tries to curl it. It wasn't on target. It's smashed towards goal by Tonali. It's a damn buster of a bobble, and it glides wide for a goal kick. Galatasaray 1, Liverpool 0, the result from earlier on today. So Liverpool going down 1-0. It's not going to be a disaster, is it? You would think that is instantly turnoverable in the second leg. Atalanta, Bayern Munich tonight 0-0. Atletico Madrid against Tottenham Hotspur still 0-0. And Newcastle 0, Barcelona 0 here. And well, at the moment it's all Newcastle. Just got to try and settle into the game. Barca, as the ball is cleared away by Rocco out towards the left-hand side. It's taken on the chest by Lewandowski. Lewandowski was in an offside position, wearing his mask tonight. Lewandowski, not quite the same exposure of a mask as Victor Osimhen, but it is a similar kind of mask to prepare his or give extra added strength to his eye socket injury that he's got. Does need surgery, but in his career he's probably trying to hold out till the summer. So a free kick which will be taken by Ramsdale. Long ball up in towards the penalty area. It's away by Yamal of all people. Linton climbs highest, wins the header, but puts it straight out for a throw. Marian Lamina, former Southampton and Wolves player, scoring the goal. Assist by Victor Osimhen, talking of the mask. For Galatasaray earlier on, beating Liverpool 1-0. It does set up the second leg rather nicely, doesn't it? Here's Harvey Barnes, tripped up by Lewandowski. Referee today, we haven't given him a mention yet. It's all Italians on the officials' front, and Marco Guida is the Italian referee. Grigio Peretti and Giuseppe Perotti are the two. It's like Pinky and Perkins, isn't it? Peretti and Perotti. The two assistants. And Matteo Marcinero is the fourth official. Daniel Cifi and Marco Di Bello are on the VAR. As Newcastle play this short to Trippier into the penalty area. It's turned across the face of goal by Elanga, and it was an interesting one. It was too close to the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper, Juan Garcia, whilst protecting his near post with the save, was unable to gather it when really he should have. He went to gather it into his midriff and slipped straight through his grasp. That was a unusually poor gather from the goalkeeper, and it certainly got a roar from the home faithful. We felt there was a little bit of nervousness amongst one or two of the younger Barcelona players. It is a young Barca side when you look at it. Bernal's 18, Pedri 23 in the midfield, Yamal 18, Fermel Lopez 22, and Paul Kabasi 19, Gerard Martin's only 24, goalkeeper 25, Juan Garcia, as Harvey Barnes is caught just offside. Tottenham are back to normal service, I see. They're 1-0 down away at Atletico Madrid. It hasn't taken Athletic very long to get the better of an out sorts Tottenham Hotspur. Marcos Llorente has scored to give Athletic an early lead in that game. Tottenham just want to be in the tie for the second leg, really, don't they? They don't want a heavy defeat there tonight, but it's really going horribly wrong for them at the moment. Here's Lamine Yamal against Hull. Hull wrestles back and does ever so well. He could well be the left back for England this summer. You know, he's big and he's strong and he loves to get forward, and I've been just so impressed with how much improvement he's made in the last 18 months, and he's had more than his fair share of bad injuries. He's been hauled to the ground by Fermín Lopez here, and free kick to Newcastle United. The young lad at Manchester City, I think he'll be there. So they seem to have got the left back position covered suddenly, England. Array of riches, a couple of very good left backs, young left backs as well, ahead of the World Cup. Of course, many of these Barcelona players will be playing for the likes of Spain. There's a long ball forward, is trying to stretch the legs of Elanga, but it's too close to goalkeeper Juan Garcia. He is able to gather with consummate ease. St James's Park. It is Fermín Lopez. Switches it to Rafinha on the left-hand side. This is where Barcelona are ominously dangerous. Good block by Trippier to keep out the attempted shot from Rafinha. Rafinha, 29 years of age now. He'll of course be at the World Cup with Brazil. Only 9 goals this season. When you think of where he is, Rafinha, and how good a player he is, only 9 goals this season. Not even his double figures yet. Over 100 appearances for the club. He'll be making his 30th appearance for Brazil in a couple of weeks' time. The international break is just around the corner. 13 minutes gone here. And not many people are thinking about the international break at the moment, as Barcelona are weaving their way back into this game. Up towards Lewandowski, who turns and gets it wide to Rafinha. Rafinha chips it to the back pass, it's just behind Lamal. Lamal against Hull on the corner edge of the penalty area. Lamal gets past Hull. Hull's strong enough to get there with Joel Linton and block out the teenage prodigy. And Newcastle can get it clear. Joel Linton under pressure from Yamal, who doesn't sit on the floor and whimper at his being out psyched. He got up and got on with it. Well done to him for that. Here come Newcastle United with Barnes. It's good play from Joel Linton in towards Elanga, and that's cleared away, and that was Newcastle at their finest, getting forward early. Good defending by Paul Kubasi, who puts it away for a throw right down by the corner flag on this near side. 14 minutes gone at St James's Park. Newcastle United 0, Barcelona 0. Atletico Madrid 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Marcos Llorente with the goals we mentioned earlier on. And big night in the Champions League. Galatasaray beating Liverpool, and there's a goal in all the games apart from this one, because Atalanta are trailing Bayern Munich by a goal to nil in Italy. So Bayern Munich leading by a goal to nil in Italy, thanks to a goal from Josip Stanisic. That's after just 12 minutes. Corner, Newcastle United. I thought it got out for a throw, but it's ended up going out as a corner. So, corner to Newcastle United. Tonali's going to whip this one in for the left-hand side again. Let's hope it's a little bit further away from the goalkeeper this time. It is. It's headed away from underneath the crossbar by Ronald Arauco. Headed back by Trippier, more up in the air than distance, and easily headed away by Barcelona, and they can attack with pace down the right-hand side. It's Rafinha into the penalty area. Rafinha tries to get the cross in. It's a good block by Lewis Hall, and it fell kindly as well to Jacob Murphy. He plays it square to Joel Linton. Boy, how are they missing Guimaraes in that midfield. Tonali is key for them tonight. Ball down the line, and it's going to be chased by Ursula. He's a raw talent, and they need him to be his absolutely brilliant best tonight to cause this Barcelona defence a few problems. One shot on target so far. It's come from Newcastle. 3 attempts from Newcastle, and they're through here with Elanga. Elanga shoots, and it's tipped around the post. Brilliant save from Joan Garcia, and the biggest chance of the game so far. And the Barcelona goalkeeper comes up trumped with an almighty big save. It was a great through ball from Ramsey, and he was onside into the box on the right-hand side. It wasn't the kindest of angles for Elanga. He's hit it low and hard. He's tried to place it with the instep of the right foot into the far corner. Goalkeeper gets down, gets a strong hand on it, and turns it round with his fingertips for a corner. Newcastle United 0, Barcelona 0. You are listening to audio commentary coverage from the Champions League round of 16. Newcastle have wasted the corner. In fact, they haven't wasted the corner because it wasn't a corner. It's a free kick because he was actually offside, Anthony Elanga, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. Maybe that would be right relief for him. There's Pedri. Back into the feet of Arauco with his blonde hair. Arauco gets it out wide to the left-hand side. Gerard Martin leaves it for Mark Bernal, another promising youngster, 18 years of age, academy player that's come through the system. He's 6'3", ball player in midfield, and he's one for the future. Might just be a bit early for him for the World Cup, who knows, but he is one to watch out for in the future, Mark Bernal. Here's Arauco again, down the line to Yamal. Goes one way, then goes the other, and flips the ball to the left-hand side. Volleyed away by Trippier before it arrives at the feet of Rafinha. Barnell bypasses him to Pedri. This is Ronald Arauco again, the Uruguayan. Barcelona just settling their way into the game. They know that they're in a game here at the moment, but at the same time, they just feel if they want to flex their muscles, they could cause a lot of damage to this Newcastle United back line. Newcastle United 0, Barca 0. We played 18 minutes at the St James's Park. Second leg to come in 8 days' time at the Camp Nou. Newcastle would love a lead to go into that one. They've just given away a free kick though. Yamal has been brought down. The referee quick to give a free kick. Down by Hall. And that was the only way of stopping him there. Yamal just got away from Hall. Hall naturally grappling with Yamal as he goes inside, and there was no stopping him. It's a strong little character, is Yamal. Looking forward to seeing him at the World Cup, obviously, in the summer. Goes without saying. Free kick is going to be taken with the left foot of Rafinha in mind. He's going to launch this into the penalty area. Arauco and Kubasi have joined the attack. Arauco is having his shirt held at the moment. He's got his collar being felt by Dan Burn. It goes unnoticed by the referee. The ball comes in from the delivery from Fermin Lopez in the end, and wide from the header towards goal. So it is a goal kick to Newcastle United on a big Champions League night at St James's Park. Not an empty seat to be had here. It's Newcastle, winners of the Carabao Cup last season. Well, European football next season pretty much hinges now on either a spectacular run between now and the end of the season, or them winning the Champions League, because I don't think they're going to qualify for Europe through the Premier League this season, not without a spectacular run. But here's a cross from Rafinha, and it was turned back towards his own goal by Dan Burn. Those long legs, it was going just wide, and I think that Ramsdale had it covered, but it was a nervous moment. Tottenham Hotspur, we know that they're having a torrid time at the moment, aren't they? 18 minutes gone in Spain. It's Atletico Madrid 3, Tottenham 0. It looks like Tottenham are going out of the Champions League, doesn't it? Could be going out of the Premier League the way they're going at the moment. It's a mess. Llorente with that early goal. Griezmann added a second. We've just seen a third going from the prolific Julian Alvarez. I think it's safe to say Tottenham are going to do well to turn that game round already, and there's only 20 minutes gone. Just coming up to 21 minutes gone here, and Barcelona have got a corner on this near side, which is the right-hand side as they attack the Gallagate end. It's a ball in towards the far post. It's too high for Ronald Araujo, and it goes straight over the Uruguayan's head and out for a goal kick to Newcastle United. Still 0-0 here. If you are just joining us, Newcastle had a splendid start. We've seen a couple of sightings of goal from Newcastle United. Elanga forcing a great save from Garcia, however it wouldn't have counted, he was offside. It's probably the best chance of the game. Just a couple of moments where Barcelona have flexed their muscles in the final third, and you think, ooh, that looks ominous for Newcastle, and they've got to be ever so careful. They've got to be at their best tonight, Newcastle defensively as well as going forward, and Harvey Barnes has just given it away cheaply. This is Lamine Yamal. I always struggle with his name. I always call him Yamin Lamal, and it's just a natural thing. Lamine Yamal, what a great player he is, though. It really is a delight to see such a young player playing with confidence and playing with a smile on his face as well as he does. This is Burnout, back to the halfway line, cleared across by Martin to Kubasi. Long ball forward, it's a great ball as well. Yamal finding Rafinha into the penalty area on the overlap, pulling it back towards Lewandowski was Martin, but Newcastle had enough defenders there, and then Dan Burn is able to clear the ball away. He's captain in the side tonight. Still Barcelona come. It's Lamine Yamal, tries to go for goal. Well, he hits the net, but it's the side netting, and he wants a corner. I think he's going to get one as well. Well, did it take a touch off of Ramsdale's fingertips on its way through, but he picked this up outside the box. Lamine Yamal taking on two defenders, and we're going to see from the angle behind the goal whether Ramsdale did get a touch, and the answer to that is yes, and he didn't need to because it was going wide, but instinct is better than no reaction and a mistake being caused as a result of it. So corner taken short by Barcelona, and it's been pinched by Ursula, and Ursula's away here, but he's all on his own. He needs some help. This is Ramsey. Can't find Ursula. Ramsey again, trying to bulldoze his way through the middle. Those salmon pink shirts of Barcelona get back behind the ball in their numbers and are able to divert it away from danger. It's with Trippier at the moment, just on the halfway line for Newcastle United in the right back position. Bayern Munich now 2-0 up against Atalanta. Atalanta's prospects of making it to the quarter-final are hanging by a thread following a goal from the former Crystal Palace man Michael Olise to make it 2-0 there to Bayern. Could be dark horses, Bayern Munich in this competition. 0-0 here. Atletico Madrid 3-0 up already on Tottenham. And Liverpool losing 1-0 in Turkey against Galatasaray early on today. So that one's evenly poised for the second leg. Tottenham's second leg against Atletico Madrid doesn't look as if it's going to have anything right on it, the way things are going for Spurs tonight. 3-0 down at home to Athletic. They could really rip Tottenham apart if they wanted to there, couldn't they? This one's a far tighter affair. Very even at the moment. 24.5 minutes gone. Second leg yet to come. Newcastle know that they need something tonight to give themselves a fighting chance. I thought Tottenham being 3-0 down was bad enough. Atalanta are themselves now 3-0 down at home to Bayern Munich, and when they flex their muscles like that, they are so dangerous. Serge Gnabry has got the third goal in that game for Bayern Munich tonight. So Bayern Munich 3-0 up, Atletico Madrid 3-0 up. You think already they're in the aren't they? Well, 61% possession here for Barcelona. They've had 4 attempts to Newcastle's 3, and both teams have had 1 shot on target. Long ball forward from Kubasi. Headed away by Chow. Falls to Lewandowski, turns. Here's Rafinha. He's got the overlap if he chooses it from Martin. Doesn't though. Goes inside. Lewandowski can't reach it. Dan Burn leaves it. And Lewis Hall takes it away. Side steps Fermin Lopez and tries to send it down the line, but it's intercepted by Araujo. And that will be a throw-in. Harry Kane, by the way, tonight 3-0 up Bayern Munich. Harry Kane is on the bench following a slight thigh problem I think he's had over the last couple of weeks. He's on the bench tonight. Nicholas Jackson leading the line for Bayern Munich. 3-0 up away at Atalanta. That could be over before the second leg even arrives. Rocco is hanging on to the every move of Harvey Barnes. Barnes comes away with the ball. It's been switched to the far side. Trippier just about keeps it in play. Lifts it in towards the penalty area to Jacob Ramsey. Ramsey wide to Elanga. Elanga teasing the ball into the box, and a header towards goal is just over the top of the crossbar from William Ursula. Well, he scored a terrific goal in the 90th minute to beat Manchester United here recently. It was a wonderful goal, one of the goals of the Premier League season for me. I thought it was a wonderful strike, cutting inside and curling it Norman Whiteside style back in 1984 FA Cup final, was that? If you're old enough to remember, Google it. It was a good goal. They had 10 men at the time, and ironically it was Newcastle that had 10 men at the time, and they scored that winner. Here it's 11 against 11. It's 0-0. 27 minutes gone. Morocco is taking the ball in the right back position. Harvey Barnes is shadowing him, and he's turned it straight into touch, but it did take a touch off of Harvey Barnes, I think. Nancy Flick down on the touchline is rather concerned figure. It's not a breeze in the park. Atlanta and Tottenham both 3-0 down already, and we're just halfway through the first half of the first leg. Atletico Madrid have now added a 4th, by the way. It's Atletico Madrid 4, Tottenham Hotspur 0. I think the less said if you're a Spurs fan, the better. And if you are joining us because you are a Spurs fan, I can tell you it was a goal from Robin Norman that has made it 4-0 there, just a quarter of the way through. That could get embarrassing for Tottenham if they're not careful. Here is the ball at the feet of Dan Burns, squares it across to his central defensive partner Malik Chow, and the long ball forward is cut out promptly by Gerard Martin. So throw it, got there ahead of Elanga, throw into Newcastle United, 25 yards from the corner flag to be taken by Kieran Trippier. Tonali, Trippier all the way back, Malik Chow, and now Ramsey, an Arsenal goalkeeper. He'll be hoping that he could make the England squad for the World Cup, and he's in direct competition, of course, with Nick Pope, and he's keeping Nick Pope out of the side at the moment. He's been preferred today, having played in the FA Cup at the weekend. Spurs have got a goal back. They're 4-1 down now in Spain. The away goals don't count though, which is probably the only kick in the teeth they need. Pedro Porro has scored that goal. Here come Barcelona with Morocco. Long ball forward, and it's watched carefully by Trippier. And Ramsdale has to come right to the edge of his penalty area with Rafinha closing in on him. Out is nibbling at the ankles of Hall, but Hall is strong enough to get away from him and plays it inside to Chow. Here it's Newcastle 0, Barcelona 0. It's been very even first half so far. Chances at a premium. Newcastle started well, and they won't be disappointed with the way in which the game has gone so far. They would take a one-goal advantage tonight if they could into the second leg. And they beat Barcelona here back in 1997, 4-3. Do you remember that one? Tino Asprilla hat-trick. He's here tonight, watching from the stands. With the many Dr. Geordies down the years to serve the club, and as the ball is played out wide, Harvey Barnes can't quite reach it. It's gone out for a throw-in to visitors Barcelona. Taken by Araujo. It's funny, they're playing Araujo at right back and they're playing Cancelo as the central defender as the ball is played through, and they're on the attack there, Newcastle United, for a minute, but it's a foul by Joel Linton, and that's not going to stick with the eyes of the referee, who brought down Pedri. So, throwing that free kick rather to Barcelona. It's gone back to the goalkeeper, Joao Garcia, on the edge of his penalty area. A little bit of pressure, plays it long, Fermin Lopez, and it's back again, and it's left for Garcia. .32 on the clock. And Ursula is not letting the Barcelona defence rest. He's putting the pressure on, he's working hard. Lewis Hall's having a cracking game up against Lamine Yamal as well. I think he's done terrifically well to keep him quiet. And here goes Elanga down the right, set free by Kieran Trippier. He's up against Gerard Martin. Martin is a difficult opponent to get past. This Elanga is finding out. He's managed to find Jacob Murphy. Now Tonali gets it back out wide to Elanga. He comes inside. It's a left-footed shot. It bounced right up in front of the goalkeeper, but he made a good save. Got down. It was on target. It was one you would expect the goalkeeper to make, but whilst it was relatively comfortable, looking at it again, it was also another shot on target for Newcastle United. They've had a couple of those now. Newcastle United 0, Barcelona 0. Fina cutting inside. He's been brought down by Tonali. It's going to be a free kick to Barca. Haven't really seen the best of the likes of Rafinha and Yamal. As a consequence, Fermin Lopez as well, by the way, who's having a terrific season with 10 goals this season. Yeah, Spanish international. As a result of that, Lewandowski very, very quiet. Newcastle will be happy with that. Here is Lewandowski. It was a good long leg of Burn to get there first to deny him a run on goal. This is Joel Linton, gets it wide to Barnes. Joel Linton again, back to Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall, I think he's just, every time I see Lewis Hall, I think he gets better. I saw him play for Chelsea a few times before he came to Newcastle, and I didn't rate him at all. I tell you what, he's come as Newcastle, and Eddie Howe's worked on him and made him better and better and better. I don't think there's many left backs in the country better than him at the moment in the Premier League. I really don't, and I'll happily argue that one. I'm sure someone will come on, so and so and so and so are. And when you look at it, you think, well, it's a problem area for Manchester City. You know, they've got the youngster coming through, haven't they? Newcastle United struggling to get the ball at the moment off of their opponents. It's with Araco, plays it inside to Pedri, busy little player in the middle of the midfield. I keep referring to the youngster at Manchester City. Of course, I mean Nico O'Reilly. I keep forgetting his name. It's Tonali chests the ball down on the edge of his own penalty area. He was caught slightly there, but it seemed to be caught by Joel Linton. But he's got back on his feet and he spreads it out wide. It's been cut out superbly by Kubasi. Kubasi into the penalty area. This could be ominous for Newcastle. Good defending, low by Chow. And the loose ball falls at the feet of Joel Linton. He plays it wide to Trippier, who's gone down. He's got caught in two minds. Shot towards goal, but it's their first shot on target. And it's a shot from Fermin Lopez, and it was straight at Ramsdale. And Trippier's gone down. He got caught there, and he did the splits as he got caught in possession by Rafinha, and that could have been very, very costly. And Trippier's gone down. Whether it is actually an injury, oh yeah, he slipped. He slipped horribly. He almost done the splits because his back leg, which is his right leg, went one way, and his left leg, which is at the front, if you can think he's kneeling, it's gone the other way, and it's pulled his legs apart a bit, and he's just tumbled over, and it's jarred his body. And once you hit the age of 35, things like that hurt a little bit more than they do when you're 21. And he's got the Newcastle physio Danny Murphy out on the pitch at the moment, sorted him out. It's a chance for Ursula to come over and have a chat with Eddie Howe. They are warming up Livramento just in case. This might be an enforced early change from Newcastle United, but they've got a very good right back on the bench. Another player that's likely, if fit, along with Lewis Hall, and they are players that have had their injury problems. If they can stay fit, they will be at the World Cup, I'm sure. Livramento, cracking player. Trippier is on his feet, he's off the pitch, and he's feeling the force. Let's just hope it's not a groin strain, but it was. His trailing foot just slipped like he was on ice, passing it straight to Rafinha. And luckily for Newcastle United, there was no damage done other than to Kieran Trippier. Saved by Ramsdale, straight at it. Newcastle United 0, Barcelona 0. You are listening to audio commentary coverage of this Champions League encounter. Round of 16. No further goals in any of the other games. Atalanta 0, Bayern Munich 3, and Atletico Madrid 4-1 up after 35 minutes against Spurs. They were after 22 minutes 4-0 up in that game. It is now 4-1. It hardly gives Tottenham a lifeline, that one goal. It does seem like the goals have slowed down slightly for Spurs. That could have got very embarrassing. Long ball forward and off goes Elanga down the right hand side. Elanga up towards the penalty area, gets the cross in, took a deflection, it just needed a touch from Ursula, but it put a little extra zip on it as it was crossed in by Elanga, and if he could have got a touch there, it was rising high above his knees. It was a difficult one to get hold of unless you dive header, something like that, and it's not one you'd have expected to get on the end of. Great ball in from Elanga. He's so good with those type of things. He's at night tonight, Elanga. When he played for Nottingham Forest, he came to prominence and scored a lot of goals because they were a counter-attacking side. Tonight, Newcastle, by way of a change, are kind of having to refer to that kind of tactic, and that is why Elanga has been introduced into the side. And here's a cross coming in for Ramsey. It's just behind Elanga this time, cleared away by Barcelona, and with Newcastle upfield, this is a chance for Newcastle to be stretched by Barcelona. Long ball forward though is from Lamau, and he then turns over Lewis Hall, bumps into him, and it's going to be a free kick. I think Lewis Hall has gone down. There are a few Newcastle fans on their feet baying for a yellow card. He's got a yellow whistle in his hand, the referee, and I keep thinking he's got a yellow card in his hand, but he hasn't. He's got a yellow whistle. But he was blocked off there. It's a foul. It's a free kick. I don't think it's enough for a yellow. It was a barge from the... Well, maybe it was enough for a yellow. Depends which... It's one of those. You look at it one angle, it doesn't look too bad. You look at it another, it looks a lot worse. Here is Hall. He's okay. Sliding tackle on him from Orocco. It's interesting they're playing Orocco out wide on the right, and Cancelo is one of the central defenders. Still 0-0 here at St James's Park. It's a nice touch from Jacob Ramsey. Down the line it goes and bounces up away from Ramsey and out for a throw-in, which will be taken by Trippier. Seems to be okay. They would want to, I would imagine, get Livramento on the pitch tonight, Newcastle. They just probably wouldn't want to put him in so early. 41 minutes gone, Newcastle United 0, Barcelona 0. Barca have had the lion's share of the possession. Newcastle have more shots on target. Very even, I think, overall. Scoreline a fair reflection. Well, there's 3 games being played tonight in the Champions League. This one is the only one that's still got something riding on it. And there's still the second leg to come. There's still the second half of the first leg to come. We're not even a quarter away through, but you think Bayern Munich 3-0 up in Italy against Atalanta. Atletico Madrid 4-1 up on Tottenham. Still a few minutes before half time. Could it get any worse for Tottenham? Newcastle United 0, Barcelona 0 is the scoreline here. Liverpool losing 1-0 in Turkey against Galatasaray in the early kick-off today. That not a bad result for Liverpool. Means they've got to win the second leg, but hey, listen, this is the Champions League. You've got to be winning games to progress. It's theirs, you would think, as slight favourites, but it gives that tie a really good poise to it, doesn't it? Galatasaray had a bigger lead when they went to Milan in the last round, and they nearly threw that away. Here's Dan Burn, stretches out a long leg. That's going to go behind for a corner. Watched behind by Fermin Lopez. Corner to Barcelona. Not a good time for Newcastle to concede. They'll try and keep it tight if they possibly can. Salmon pink jerseys pouring forward. Into the box goes Gerard Martin and Pau Kabasi. Corner on the right hand side is going to be delivered by Rafinha, the Brazilian. And it comes right towards the 6-yard box. Thumped away at first. Knock-ins by the Newcastle defence and by Ursula, of all people. Carries on running down the field and takes up his residence in the centre forward position. 90 seconds of the first 45 to go. There will be a little bit of stoppage time for the Trippier injury. Other than that, not too many stoppages. Perhaps 2-3 minutes. This is Orocco. Inside, it's a good turn from Mark Bernal. Bernal's done well. He's got his gloves on tonight. He knows how cold it can be. The forecast for next week is freezing conditions again around these parts. Spring has a twist in its tail as Ramsey wins it back in the midfield and gives it to Elanga. Elanga into the penalty area, and he goes down in the penalty area. The referee says get up. He's not interested. The referee was quick to make the decision there on field. Guida, the referee, but here's the ball out wide to Harvey Barnes. It came off of Orocco from the pass by Joel Linton. Corner to Newcastle. Let's have a little look here as he weaves his way inside. He goes to the return. No, he's falling over his own body weight there. That's not a penalty. There was body parts flying everywhere there, and he may well have got nicked. And he waggles his finger, does Elanga. Elanga's actually had a really good first half for Newcastle United. He's looked dangerous. He's yet to score a Premier League goal. He's got one goal to his name since moving from Nottingham Forest. It's been a difficult start. Only 1 minute, surprisingly, at the end of the 45 added on. And we're into it now. Here's Tonali's corner. Another corner for Newcastle. Into the near post. Headed behind. Take two. Rafina was the defending player to put it behind for another Newcastle corner. Nearly halfway through the 1 additional minute. Newcastle fans won't be disappointed with the commitment of their team in the first half. Manchester City were a whole different dynamic at the weekend compared to what we've seen from Barcelona so far, but we know what they can do, we know what they're about. Are they good enough to win this Champions League? Well, they came mighty close to the final last year, didn't they? Pipped by Inter. Ball comes in, it's punched up in the air by Garcia. He's adjudged to have been fouled, and a free kick is given, and the referee will probably blow for half-time when this free kick is delivered. In fact, you won't even have to wait for that free kick to be taken. He blows for half-time straight away, and at half-time it is Newcastle United 0, Barcelona 0. A fantastic competition this, the Champions League, and this is a game that is on a knife edge. Newcastle will feel that they need a goal in the second half to give them some sort of hope going into the second leg at the new camp in 8 days' time. But it's not been bad for Newcastle. They'll be happy with the way things have gone so far. Good performances from the likes of Watchalong and Elanga and Lewis Hall as well in particular. And at half-time it's Newcastle United 0, Barcelona 0. Stick with us. We'll be back for the second half right after this short break. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Welcome back for the second half. These two teams out for the second 45 minutes and still 0-0. The only game tonight without a goal. The other two ties have both got 3 at least. 5 in the game at the Metropolitano. Tottenham are being beaten 4-1, substituting their goalkeeper after just 16 minutes. Here come Newcastle United inside from Harvey Barnes. Loose connection down the left from Joel Linton, allows the clearance away from Kubasi. And now Rafinha is away. He's got to get that, and he does get that. There's Malik Chow, good defending, good sweeping up, but Trippier losing out to Rafinha, and then getting an all-important foot in. This is a chance to get forward for Anthony Elanga. Runs straight into Cancelo, and that's an outplay for a throw-in in the Barcelona half, midway inside the Barcelona half for Newcastle United, who had a couple of shots on target in the first half. Cleared away by Cancelo. Dan Burn, long, high punt forward. Bounces beyond everyone and out for a goal kick. Newcastle 0, Barcelona 0, Atletico Madrid 4, Tottenham 1, Atalanta 0, Bayern Munich 3. All the half-time scores tonight. Galatasaray beating Liverpool 1-0 earlier on today. Mario Lemina, former Southampton Fulham Wolves man, with the goal early in the game. Tonali can't quite find the feet of Osuna. Cancelo goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, playing in the left-back position tonight. Cancelo, we know how versatile he is. Lewis Hall against Araujo, and Araujo forcing his way past Lewis Hall, but by illegal means. He had his hands on the shoulders of the former Chelsea defender and hauled him back. Fortunately, you can't do that. So, free kick to Newcastle United, just inside their own half. It's going to be left to Aaron Ramsdale. Once again, gets a start tonight. Newcastle, incidentally, 3 goalkeepers on the bench. You'd have to be exceedingly unlucky if Aidan Harris gets in the game tonight. It's going to mean going through Nick Pope and John Ruddy, if that was to be the case. Can't see that happening for the teenage goalkeeper tonight. And what an experience being on the bench for a day like this, or a night like this, under the lights at St James's Park, as Kieran Trippier knocks it forward. Nearly jumped by Elanga, but it's easily headed away and then volleyed up in the air by Kubasi. It was a little on the loose side from Kubasi. Good hold-up play to find Elanga from Joel Linton, but his attempt to flick it round the corner for Osuna didn't quite come off. Enough salmon pink shirts there for Barcelona, and Osuna is sent sprawling to the ground, and that will be a free kick. And that will be a foul against Burnout. It's a big lad, Burnout. The 18-year-old defender can look after himself, or midfielder can look after himself, pushing Elanga out of touch and presenting Newcastle United with a free kick. Still haven't started the second half yet. Atletico Madrid 4, Tottenham 1, but they are well into the second half here. 5 minutes almost played in this already. Atalanta 0, Bayern Munich 3 in the other one. That's just a couple of minutes behind this one. Kieran Trippier is going to take this free kick from the right. We know how good his deliveries can be. It's going to whip it in right-footed, level with the edge of the box. It was in towards Elanga. Didn't quite connect with it as he would have liked to on the right foot volley for the edge of the box. And he steers it wide. Well, it's a chance, certainly, for Newcastle United. It came at him very, very quickly. It's taken down nicely by Lewandowski and then played forward by Lopez, down the line by Cancelo, and off goes Rafinha for Barcelona, but Rafinha's ball inside was very poor. Kieran Trippier, well, he's strong and he's not caused problems there, but I do think he's a little bit slow on the uptake sometimes. I just wonder if Eddie Howe is thinking maybe Livramento's a little sharper than Trippier overall, but his experience is invaluable. I wonder if he's still feeling the effects of that slip in the first half where he went down injured. They can ill afford Kieran Trippier to be anything under 100% if he's up against someone like Rafinha tonight. Barcelona way ahead of Real Madrid and looking like they will cement another title in the coming weeks and months. Watchalong is causing problems for Gerard Martin and Kubasi. Between them they deal with it. Cleared away by Garcia, the goalkeeper, but he was being hounded by Ursula. He's an unforgiving character. He's going to put pressure on that Barcelona defence all night long. It's been really lively. Here's Lewis Hall, who's been very good as well for Newcastle United. Back to Ramsdale, into the feet of Tonali, and he's overhit the pass back out wide to the left-hand side for Dan Burn. It's gone straight out for a throw to Barcelona. They can't surrender the possession and the ball that cheaply, especially when it's someone like Sandro Tonali. They are off and underway in the game between Atletico Madrid and Spurs. Here come Newcastle. Tonali winning the ball back, having lost it. And Harvey Barnes winning a throw-in just inside the Barcelona half over on the far side, the left-hand side. Newcastle in their black and white stripes attacking the Gallagher end away to our right. It's the salmon pink of Barca. 7 minutes gone in this second half. Here's Ursula again, trying to win a free kick. He's not managed to do so off of the Italian referee Marco Guido. Newcastle surrendering possession again. It's across to Gerard Martin. The left back that's playing in the centre of defence. The right back is playing at left back, and the central defender is Urako, is playing at right back. It's a little bit of a swap around at the back. There's obviously means and measures for it. That's got to be a foul on Malik Chow. The referee does wisely play on. This is Dan Burn on the halfway line, plays it square to Lewis Hall, has to step backwards to retrieve it very slightly. Long ball forward over the top, doesn't come to anything. And it remains Newcastle United 0, Barcelona 0. Bayern Munich have gone and got a 4th goal in Italy against Atalanta tonight. I don't think they'll need to stretch the legs of Harry Kane tonight. 4-0 up now. Nicholas Jackson, his replacement, has got the 4th goal in that game. And that looks like tie over as well, doesn't it? A bit like the Atletico Madrid-Tottenham tie. Cleared away by Kubasi under the watchful eye of the charging in Joel Linton. It's back with Ramsdale. Long punt forward from Ramsdale. That's going to go straight from one goalkeeper directly into the arms of the other. At the other end, away to our right, Juan Garcia. Now Cancelo. Familiar surrounds in England. Played here for a few years for Manchester City. We're winners here on Saturday, of course. Kieran Trippier takes the ball off of him in the battle in the number 2s. Well played, Kieran Trippier. Inside by Joel Linton, and the home fans encouraged by what they've seen from Newcastle tonight. They've put up a fight. They're in this game. It's going to have to be a pretty big away performance, even if they were to win this by a single goal. The second leg in the Camp Nou. There's Malik Chow, solid at the back. He's had a really good season. Malik Chow, former Milan player, former Schalke player. Will be at the World Cup with Germany, of course. Here come Barcelona. Poor control really from Lewandowski. And it's gone straight through to Ramsey. Bowls it out very quickly to Lewis Hall. He's in a hurry to get up towards the halfway line. Lewis Hall looks up through the middle. Here's Ursula into the penalty area wide on the left-hand side. Tries to get the shot in, by which time he'd almost created an impossible angle. And it flies behind for a goal kick. But that was good play by Lewis Hall, and the through ball was an excellent one as well. Just where Ursula wanted it. He's been lively today, Ursula. Really impressed with his movement, with his tenacity, his hard work, his endeavour. Played nearly 11 minutes of the second half. Still Newcastle United nil, Barcelona nil. 0-0 will not be a disaster for Newcastle. It just turns the second leg into a one-off. Barcelona are ever so strong in their own patch. They're going to have to be at their absolute best if they're getting anything out of that game. Here's Dan Burn, back out wide to Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall turning away from Lamine Yamal, who's been kept very quiet by Lewis Hall tonight. He's been excellent. It says that England haven't got a left back. I think again Nico O'Reilly and Lewis Hall. But here goes Elanga into the penalty area, tries to cut it across the face of the 6-yard box, and arriving there was Harvey Barnes, but first at the scene was the goalkeeper to pluck it away from a low trajectory, and it was Garcia that bowls it out quickly. And here come Barcelona up towards the halfway line. It's back with Cancelo. Now it's with Martin, the teenage defender. Kubasi, who's really played 4 times for the national team in Spain. That's how meteoric his rise has been over the last 18 months, 2 years. Kubasi made his debut at 16. He hasn't looked back. That's a foul from Tonali to bring down Pedri. The 2 number 8s locking horns a little too aggressively in the eyes of the referee from Tonali. Free kick to Barcelona deep inside their own half. Barcelona were stretched when Elanga used his pace to get into the box just now. Unfortunately, his cross was not quite right. 4 goals for Bayern Munich, 4 goals for Atletico Madrid. It does look as if Atalanta and Spurs are going out of the Champions League in the round of 16, doesn't it? Lewis Hall finding Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes goes for goal at the near post from on the corner edge of the penalty area wide on the left-hand side, and he's whipped that one in. Well, if you don't shoot, you don't score, and he's got a vicious right foot on him, Harvey Barnes, and he's whipped that in, and again, it's bounced just in front of the goalkeeper. And Newcastle with another shot on target, although again it was fairly comfortable for the goalkeeper. Tonali gets away from Lewandowski, gets away from Ferran Lopez, and now Elanga gets into the penalty area. Elanga takes a touch, tries to get the cross in. Really good defending by Gerard Martin, who put the block in and then cleared up towards Fermin Lopez, and Lopez can get forward, and suddenly it's 4 Barcelona against 3 Newcastle. Wide to Rafinha, reverses it back to Lamau, and then Fermin Lopez couldn't reach the ball from Lamau, and it's brought away by Lewis Hall, and he shows a clean pair of heels to Yamin Lamau, and now he can take on Orocco. Gets the ball in towards Elanga, and I think the touch came off with the defender last, or did it? I think it's going to be a corner. Great play again there by Lewis Hall, who's had a tremendous game for Newcastle United. Charging forward down that left-hand side, putting a really good cross in, just too far ahead of Ursula. Came to Elanga. That definitely came off the defender last of Joao Cancelo. So nearly an hour gone. Newcastle nil, Barcelona nil, and Newcastle, to the roar of the Gallowgate, have their first corner of the second half. Up comes Dan Burn, up comes Malik Chow. This is Kieran Trippier to take. It's a deep delivery. Jumping at the far post was Chow. It was a good win in the air, actually, by Lamine Yamal. Chow is still battling on the far side. It came off of Chow inadvertently last, and that will be a goal kick as Atletico Madrid go 5-1 up against Tottenham Hotspur. And, well, if that game wasn't already over, I think it is now. I think the comeback, if Spurs were to come back, they probably need a couple of goals tonight, and you still wouldn't fancy them. Second goal of the night for Julian Alvarez. And, they are running rampant, aren't they, tonight? Athletic 5-1 up, and there's only an hour, less than an hour gone, because that one's about 5 minutes behind this, so it's only 10 minutes or so into the second half. It's a goal kick for Barcelona here. We've not been blessed with goals like the other games, but it is an intriguing tie, and this is a tie that's in the balance, unlike the other two. Liverpool losing 1-0 at Galatasaray, that's another game that's in the balance, but here is Lamine Yamal, takes the pass off of Rafinha. He's quickly closed down by a combination of Dan Burn and Joel Linton. He's not been at his best tonight, Lamine Yamal, but here he is on the ball now, whips it in again. Dan Burn first to the scene, heads it up in the air, and he needed to watch it carefully there, because it was looping up in the air from Dan Burn, and Ramsdale managed to fist it away from the top corner where it was dropping and over the bar for a corner. Couldn't take any chances with Lewandowski jumping in on him, but Lewandowski was clever there because he didn't jump at the goalkeeper, he jumped at the post so he could get some sort of leverage. Very, very clever from Lewandowski. What centre forward would think of that? Well, he's a wily old character, Robert Lewandowski. He scored a few goals down the years, hasn't he? In comes a corner, it's flicked at the near post. It was a flick by Araujo. It came off of him last, it will be a goal kick. Jumping with William Ursula. Now Elanga knocks it past Cancelo. The old legs of Cancelo. This is Elanga. Has it taken off of him very easily by Pedri. It was good play by Pedri, just stood in the way. There's Pedri again. It's a clever player, Pedri. He's full international for Spain, 30 caps. That tells you that there's a player there. They've only had one shot on target tonight, Barca. Newcastle 3 shots on target, 8 shots to 6 Newcastle lead. Barcelona have just edged the possession. We're about 56% to 44 is the latest stat in possession terms. So Spurs losing 5-1, Atalanta losing 4-0. Both look like they're going out of the Champions League, don't they? Two teams that have lifted silverware in the UEFA competitions in very recent times. We've been in the Europa League in the last 3 or 4 years, remember? So they'll both be bowing out of the Champions League ahead of the quarter-finals, unless there's a miracle on the horizon. Given Tottenham's form, not expecting too many. There's Ursula. It's a cracking game. He really has. He's caused a lot of problems for Gerard Martin and Kubasi. He's just gone out there and he's had the game of his life. You know, you think, why have they played Ursula ahead of Voltemada and Vissa? And you can see why. And even Gordon, who's not 100% fit, and you can see now why. Because he's been causing problems. And there's a ball over the top, and it's being chased by Harvey Barnes. Out of his box, there's Juan Garcia to clear the ball into touch over on the far side. Still 0-0 at St James's Park. 64 minutes gone. 0-0 will not be a disaster for Newcastle. Turn the second leg into a one-off game. The coaching staff for Newcastle United. Jason Tyndall, the assistant there. Stephen Purchase, one of the coaches. A deep conversation with Eddie Howe. What to do to try and nick a goal without leaving themselves open and exposed to the talents of Rafinha, Yamal, Lopez and Lewandowski. That's the big dilemma, isn't it? You don't want to over-gamble. And I don't think Barcelona have played particularly well tonight. They haven't created an awful lot. I don't think Rafinha and Yamal have looked particularly at home at St James's Park on a chilly evening. Cleared away by Chow. Now off goes Lewis Hall again down that left-hand side. Feeds it out to Harvey Barnes, and Lewis Hall continues his run down the left-hand side. He's having a really good game. Cross comes in, couldn't control it initially there, Ramsey, and then it's Tonali. It's Tonali again off of the pass, and the pass was since Joel Linton, and it deflected off of Kubasi up in the air and safely into the arms of Garcia. But again, it was Lewis Hall with a rampaging run on the left-hand side. I think Ursula's had a great game, but I think Lewis Hall has been the best player on the pitch by a country mile. In that left-back position, he has made light work of Lemieux tonight as the ball is played into the box, and it's wide for Lewandowski. Well, he hasn't seen a sight of goal until the 66th minute, and he could have easily scored there. We've seen him take those chances. It was a ball into the channel by Cancelo, and off went Rafinha, and he plucked it over his shoulder down first time, and not many players can do that, by the way. But the ball inside was a riveting one, and in came Lewandowski, and he just chopped it across the face of Ramsdale, and a yard or so wide. Here comes some changes, and it's Newcastle that will make all three of them. First one to come off is Kieran Trippier. No surprise there, he's going to be replaced by Tino Livramento. Also coming off, he's had a good game actually today. He's starting to win over the fans. Anthony Elanga, and William Ursula is also coming off. He's been excellent. So on comes Jacob Murphy down the right hand side. Now he can deliver, and Anthony Gordon's going to go into the front line. Top scorer in the Champions League with 10 goals this season. He comes on. So what can that change just before the halfway mark in this second half? What can that do? Bayern Munich 5-0 up now in Italy against Atalanta. It's going to be two dead rubbers next week, aren't there? At White Hart Lane. Sorry, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is still to me White Hart Lane. It's a foul. Chopped down Jacob Murphy. First yellow card of the game. And it's gone to, I think it was Cancelo. Yeah, he's gone flying through and taken down Jacob Murphy, and moved on with the ball. Clever play from Jacob Murphy. Cancelo is now on a yellow card. First one of the game. Marcus Rashford's going to be coming on shortly for Barca. He's not the only man coming on. They're going to make more than one change, Barcelona. Just past the halfway point in the second half. By the way, that fifth Bayern Munich goal coming from Michael Olise, second of the game. For the Crystal Palace man, of course. Wide it goes from Voltemada. Sorry, not Voltemada. Voltemada didn't come on. It was Anthony Gordon. Now it's with Harvey Barnes. Back out wide to Anthony again. Anthony Gordon is headed away into touch by Kubasi, who's out of position at the moment. Here comes a cross from Anthony Gordon. In it comes, and it's fired over the top of the crossbar on the volley from 6 yards out by Murphy. He came and he connected, but he couldn't keep it down. He's made a run on the blind side, and the cross comes out to him, and he's tried to side foot it in with his lesser left foot, and he's got the right idea, but he just can't keep it down. If he can keep it down and get it on target, maybe that might have just been productive. Dani Olmo is coming on for Barca, as well as Rashford. Pedri is coming off. So, Rashford coming on. Olmo coming on as well. It's Lewandowski that's coming off. So if that's going to be, is it Rashford down the middle, or will it be Rafinha down the middle? We'll find out in the course of time. But Lewandowski and Pedri are the two players to make way for Rashford and Olmo. Swift response from Barca to the three changes made just a few moments ago from Newcastle United. Cancelo down the line to Rashford. Rashford has taken up residence on the left, and it is Rafinha, who did come across and speak to Hansi Flick. He's gone straight down the middle. Still 0-0. Can't take your eyes off of this one. Isn't it funny? Two other games tonight, and both of them have got 6 goals, because Bayern Munich is 6-0 up now. Musiala's got in on the act away at Atalanta. That game is well and truly done and dusted now, isn't it? Spurs 5-1 down in Madrid against Atleti. So those 2 games, whilst there are goals in it, there's no competition. The tie is over. But here, this one is intriguing. It's the game of the night. You don't want to take your eyes off of it. And it's been a decent 0-0. 11 shots in Newcastle, 3 on target. 7 for Barcelona, just the 1 on target for Aaron Ramsdale to lay his hands on. Down the line from Cancelo. It's Livramento and goes straight out of play for a throw into Barca. 10 yards shy of the halfway line, so still inside their own half. 71 minutes gone. You're listening to audio commentary coverage from St James's Park. The Tsunami against Barca. It's 0-0. It's Dani Olmo, got blonde hair in the middle of the midfield. Plays it square to Bernal. Back again to Olmo, slots it forward through the lines, can't control it initially. Lamine Yamal. Chipped forward by Kubasi. That's a decent looking ball out towards the right, but it's too far forward. And, it's ended up with a Barcelona player going down injured. Let's see what the I don't know if it's Fermin Lopez that's gone down, holding his. He might just tweak something there, Fermin Lopez. Was it Fermin Lopez? Mark Bernal. I think Mark Bernal, midfield man. That it's Bernal that went flying forward. There's going to be a change as a consequence. Not sure, but I think it's going to be Casado. Mark Casado. Looks like he's putting his shirt on over on the far side. He's pulled up there. There's Burnout. Yeah, I think his calf or his hamstring is locked. An injury for him, so he will have to come off. Looks like Casado is coming on. Yes, it is Casado. Confirmation. The board goes up and on comes Mark Casado. But he has been warming up, the midfield man. So one academy graduate goes off. The 18-year-old replaced by a 22-year-old who's a little bit more experienced, but another academy graduate from Barcelona. They do bring them through, don't they? You look at it and you see the likes of Yamal, Kubasi, great players that the club have nurtured from youth level. And Dani Olmo, although he's come back from Leipzig, he was a Barcelona player, and it's a peel into the right-hand channel for Gordon. Gordon, can he put it back to the edge of the box? He can, and it's helped on by Murphy. And this is a chance for Newcastle. They've hit the post, and the rebound has been turned in. And it's offside for Joel Linton. Harvey Barnes hit the post, and Joel Linton followed up and put it in the net, only to be ruled out for offside. How's your luck, Newcastle United? Well, it was made by Livramento's quick thinking to get the ball into the channel for Gordon. Gordon looks up. It's a clever pass backwards to Murphy, who took it in the D, played it out wide. It's a curling effort to the back post by Harvey Barnes, off the post, and in by Joel Linton. Well, even the Newcastle fans spotted that one very quickly. There was no real check to cover that referee and his assistant's tracks. They got it absolutely spot on. And it's still 0-0 here. It's Atalanta 0, Bayern Munich 6. The It's Atletico Madrid 5, Tottenham 1 in the other two games. 6 goals apiece in those two games. Listen, this is the game you need to be listening to. The 0-0 between two sides that are very much still in the Champions League. This is the one tie that will have a second leg with purpose attached to it. And there's something dramatic happens in the final 15 minutes, which we're now in. Hansi Flick would be more than happy to take a clean sheet and a 0-0 away from St James's Park. Their last visit here in the Champions League earlier this season, they won 2-0. Marcus Rashford got them both. Rashford is now on. Rashford, of course, 1 goal shy of double figures for the season. He's got more goals in the Champions League than he has in La Liga. This is Hull. Turns away from Lamine Yamal. He makes light work of Lamine Yamal. And off they go again. This is Harvey Barnes taking on the defender Araujo, pulling it back to Joel Linton. Can't quite control it, gets lost underneath his feet. Dan Burn wanted a bit too much time, taken off of him by Rafinha, but he can't keep hold of it either. It's one back by Tonali, sent out wide to Livramento, and now extreme right, Jacob Murphy cuts inside, gets it forward quickly to the right hand side. Off goes Livramento, deflects it behind from the clearance by Gerard Martin against Livramento and out for a goal kick. That's good play by Newcastle, because when he got it to Harvey, sorry, not to Harvey Barnes, when he got it to Jacob Murphy out wide on the right, the first thing he did was get it forward to the edge of the penalty area. Crisp, incisive, get it forward early, and that caused problems for Barcelona there. .77 on the clock. Newcastle 0, Barcelona 0. Dan Burn heads it back to goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. Ramsdale bowls it back to Dan Burn. Knocked out in the FA Cup without much of a whimper really at the weekend against Manchester City, who were very controlled in their performance here, dominant to win Newcastle out of the cup competition. This is all they've got to play for now, Newcastle. Rashford on the ground, doesn't even win the throw. It came off of him last. Here is Malik Chow, solid at the back with Dan Burn. He's got a good partnership tonight from those two big men. This is back inside by Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy inside of Jacob Ramsey. It's cleared away by Malik Chow. Gets it back again from Tino Livramento. Good play by Livramento. Chow turns back to his goalkeeper. Back out to the left-hand side from Ramsey. Now Joel Linton wide to Hall, and Hall runs it forward. And here's Harvey Barnes. The goalkeeper's off his line. Harvey Barnes, can he find a way to get the shot in? He can't quite find a way of getting the shot in. And then he goes down inside the penalty area. Referee doesn't blow. Still going here, Newcastle, with Joel Linton. Gets it wide again. Here's Hall. Whacks it across the face of goal, and it's turned hurriedly behind by Gerard Martin for a corner. And Newcastle are gearing up to apply pressure on their visitors in this final few minutes of the game. We've got 11 and a bit minutes to go, and Newcastle have a corner, and they've started to create some big chances in this game. Newcastle 0, Barcelona 0. Another Newcastle corner. Referee checking the activity in the box, which is low profile given how physical corners can be. It's cleared away on as far as Hall. Now Joel Linton takes it on his chest inside the area, gets it wide to Tonali, the corner taker. In he comes, curls it across, and it's back in by Malik Chow, was it? And over the top. In fact, it wasn't Chow, it was Jacob Ramsey over the top of the crossbar, and that will be a goal kick. Well, it was great play by Newcastle. Really applying the pressure on Barca, who really stretched to the rear. It did take a deflection though. It's going to be another corner. I didn't realise that. So it's Hull whips it in underneath the crossbar. Goalkeeper punches, gets good distance on it. Livramento wanted to turn it back in, didn't want to make a mistake, so he goes back to Ramsey. Ramsey takes a touch, side steps to the right, knocks it long, headed away by Martin. No real pressure on Martin at all. He's got absolutely acres of space. Sends it wide to the experienced João Cancelo, the only player on the park with a yellow card so far in this game. It's been a very clean and crisp game. No goals, one yellow card. Both sides have made 3 changes. They are inseparable in every which way. Newcastle will feel they've done enough to be winning this game, but here is Rafinha in towards Rashford. Rashford gets the cross in. It's too deep though. It'll be too much for Yamal, will it? And he's managed to catch it on the far side. Yamal. Is it square to Casado? Casado goes backwards. You feel like Barcelona would happily take a draw. It's now Atletico Madrid 5, Tottenham 2. Tottenham have got another goal back. Only have to win the second leg by 3 clear goals now if they can avoid conceding any more in the Metropolitano tonight. Madrid 5-2 in that one. Don't think there's any hope for Atalanta. They're 6-0 down at home against Bayern Munich tonight. Here's Rashford on the left-hand side, keeps it in play. Joelinton closing him down, comes inside and gives it to Cancelo. One full back to the other. Morocco gets it wide to Yamal. And it's all the way back to Gubasi. And now Gerard Martin. 8.5 minutes to go. Newcastle United 0, Barcelona 0. 13 goals in the other 2 ties. Newcastle have come close here to opening the scoring on a couple of occasions in the last 5 minutes or so. They're trying to get the ball off of Barcelona at the moment, who are playing keep ball. Dominic Solanke has got the goal 14 minutes from time to give Tottenham hope at 5-2. Might just be that tiny little glimmer of hope. Could you see Tottenham Hotspur winning a game by 3 clear goals against Atletico Madrid? I've seen stranger things in football, but not too many. Well, Newcastle United's trip to Barcelona looks like it's going to be in the balance, and obviously Barcelona, as things stand, will be the favourites. Even if Newcastle nick this one 1-0, you'd fancy Barcelona. But it's goalless. It's still in the equation. Well, they've missed Guimaraes today for the Newcastle in midfield. Can have him back for the second half, that would be great. But his expected return isn't until mid-April with a tear to the hamstring. Here's Rashford, cuts inside. It's Rashford with a shot. It hits Malik Chow. It loops up in the air over the top of Dan Burn. It's blocked well by Lewis Hall. The attempt on goal from Fermin Lopez, and then the referee blows his whistle. But again, it was the block from Lewis Hall, who's been outstanding tonight. Absolutely outstanding. Bruno Guimaraes has been in Brazil the last couple of weeks. It was a push by Fermin Lopez into the back of Dan Burn. That's why the free kick was given. We've got 6 minutes to go here. It's like Newcastle are throwing one more on in a minute. It's going to be Willock. Newcastle 0, Barcelona 0 still. Is there a late goal to put a spin on this? Here come Barca with Rashford. Has a look up, spins one into the box. Making a run was a Rocco. By the time he'd reached it, it was crossing the line for a goal kick, and the captain can't quite catch it, and it is a goal kick to Newcastle United. Rocco just touched it as it was going out. And he's gone down injured, and he's been told to get off the pitch. He's injured, and I think that's the right decision for the referee as well. Either you're injured, get off, or you're not injured, get up and get on with it. And Arauco goes off down, and now he's waiting to be let onto the pitch again, and he is allowed back on from behind the goal. Newcastle just need to be a little careful because he's running back from a position where it's blind side, but they've cleared the ball down the right hand side. Livramento up towards the edge of the penalty area, cuts inside against Rashford. Two players potentially in the England World Cup reckoning. There's Murphy, goes to the return as well, Murphy, and he arcs one in. It's a tap in, surely, yes, they've got their goal. Harvey Barnes, Newcastle lead with 5 minutes to go, and this place has gone mad. Great ball in from Jacob Murphy, made by Livramento, and there was Harvey Barnes, and it didn't look like something that was going to be missed either. It was a tap in at the far post. The ball in from Jacob Murphy was high enough to take the goalkeeper out of the equation, and Newcastle United lead with exactly 4 minutes of the 90 to go. Newcastle 1, Barcelona 0, and it's Harvey Barnes again, scoring his 6th Champions League goal of the season, the former Leicester City man. That's 14 he's got this season. Just wonder if you can perhaps think about him maybe going to the World Cup. They've got so many attacking options, England, but he's been in fine form this season, Harvey Barnes, and he pops in there, and that's what he's so good at doing. He attacks that gap at the back post, it comes across, and he just slides it into the near post, and the goalkeeper's beaten. He gets a hand to it. There's Garcia, but he could only help it into the side netting inside the net. Seemed to hit him on the chest rather than the arm, and it's a goal for Newcastle United. And I think overall you have to say they probably just about deserved that. Newcastle leading by a goal to nil here. Harvey Barnes with the goal, and that would set up the second leg superbly. Galatasaray won, Liverpool 0 earlier on. That will set that second leg up very well. There is a VAR goal check. The VAR goal check is confirmed. It is 1-0 to Newcastle United. There's no looking back now. Harvey Barnes has got what looks like is going to be the winner. Newcastle United leading at home against Barcelona, who are making a couple of changes. And seeing who's coming on here, they've made a couple of changes to go for it. Well, they've taken off Arauco, who picked up that injury. And who else are they taking off? They've missed the boards, so I'm just waiting for confirmation to come up on the screen beside me here. In the meantime, Barcelona have restarted the game, and they trail by a goal to nil. Well, they need Newcastle something to go into the second leg to hold on to. They've got that goal. They've got the ball back off of Barcelona fairly quickly as well. What a moment to score for Newcastle, 4 minutes from time. Here come Newcastle again. They've made those couple of changes. I think Barkley's come on the far side as ball is returned back to goalkeeper Garcia. Espate has come on. He's one of the he's the right back. He's a young lad that's come on in the right back position. And Ferran Torres for Fermin Lopez. Ferran Torres, from Manchester City player, will get a couple of minutes at the end. He's got 14 goals this season. Incidentally, so's Harvey Barnes. Ferran Torres, 14 goals this season, and so's Harvey Barnes, and he's got 6 in the Champions League, Harvey Barnes. So Newcastle leading here by 1-0. And looks like Harvey Barnes is going to go off to a rapturous standing ovation from the Toon Army. His goal into 4 minutes of stoppage time now, by the way. His goal looks like being the winner. Harvey Barnes will tear you apart again, says a flag in the crowd. He's replaced by Willock. It's Newcastle look to get this one over the line, and they should do so now, you would think. But you never know with Barcelona. Second leg's going to be very, very interesting indeed next week. Here is Newcastle again, looking forward towards Byrne, and he was very nearly in on goal there. Here is Willock, helps it wide to Ramsey. Ramsey turning full circle, gives it to Hall. Hall delivering it into the box, headed away. Newcastle rampant at the moment. It's hit by Livramento. He hit it really well actually, but it was blocked by the substitute Marcus Rashford, and then Rashford running into traffic down the left-hand side, and that's going to be a free kick. Trippier went off quite a while ago, but he's still not got a top on down on the side. He's still got his black and white shirt on. He's barking out the orders from the substitutes bench, trying to get his team to be organised and get this one over the line. They're looking to get the ball forward here, Tonali, but I think the likes of Eddie Howe and Trippier are saying, just keep the discipline. Yeah, it'd be lovely to get a second goal, sure, but don't fall apart as a result of it. Tonali chips it up to the edge of the box. It's Chow, heads it inside, cleared up in the air by Casado. It's won well by by Joel Linton. Clearing the ball with Cancelo. Still the only yellow card on the pitch, Cancelo. Only had one yellow card tonight. It's been a real clean game. Good advert for Champions League football. It's been a really good game. I'm glad he's got a goal to make it something for the second leg. So nicely poised now for the Nou Camp. That's great play again by Ramsey. Gets it wide, growing with confidence. Jacob Ramsey gets it out wide. This is Willock on the left. It's still Willock. Can he get the cross in? Two defenders to stop him. Expat managed to get the block. It's come back out again, and this is Murphy. Murphy trying to make it work for him, but it cut inside and hit traffic. Cleared away by Dan Byrne. It's a bit frenetic at the moment. It's frantic as Barcelona go forward and look for an equaliser from the midfield. Olmo cleared away by Newcastle United. There's a yellow card there for Callum Willock. Yes, Callum Willock. A little pull on Lamine Yamal's shirt. I thought Lamine Yamal had gone off without looking at my notes in front of me, because he has been so innocuous. Newcastle lead by 1-0, and this game is deep into stoppage time. Yellow card for Willock, and the second of the game. Rashford delivers it in, headed away by Chow. It's back out to Olmo. He slips as he clears, and it's been blocked by Tonali, and Tonali has a look up and switches it inside towards Gordon. Gordon holds it up, whips it forward, but it's too far ahead of everyone, including Tonali, and it goes straight through to the goalkeeper. And we've just about done the 4 minutes. Here come Barcelona again. The referee's had a look at his watch, and the referee preparing. I thought he was going to blow his whistle there, but then he let it go. He's giving Barcelona one last chance. Back out wide again to Cancelo. Skips inside, beats two, beats three, Cancelo, but he's going backwards in doing so. Towards the edge of the box, it might be a chance here. Into the penalty area, penalty for Barcelona. Deep into stoppage time. He was about to blow his final whistle, the referee. Into the penalty area, and Malik Chow has caught the legs of Rafinha, I think it was, in there. It's going to be a penalty to Barcelona. Well, what looked like being a momentous night now looks like it's going to be a sour ending potentially here. Olmo was the man caught, by Malik Chow as he cut inside. Yeah, he's caught his ankle. He's not going to get away with that one. And Olmo is caught. The question is, who is going to take the penalty? It's going to be virtually the last kick of the game. Penalty has been cleared by VAR, as I expected it would be. And disappointment for Malik Chow. He just stuck a foot in and it caught the ankle of Olmo. And Barcelona with a chance to equalise, and it falls at the feet of the 18-year-old Lamine Yamal in the 6th minute of stoppage time now. A chance to give Barcelona an equalising goal that will put them in the box seat going in to the game next week. He tucks it into the corner, sending goalkeeper Ramsdale the wrong way. And Lamine Yamal, he's had an incredibly quiet night, so much so I forgot he was out there. Steps up and scores from the spot. And that is an equalising goal and a bitter pill to swallow for Newcastle United, especially when you look back and you see that the referee was about to blow the final whistle and opted to play on. Atalanta 1, Bayern Munich 6 is a result. Late goal in that one as well. 2 late goals here. Newcastle 1, Barcelona 1. It was a cool penalty from Lamine Yamal. And it's 1 apiece. And it looks like we're going to start with a blank canvas going in to next week's second leg at the Camp Nou in 8 days' time. A bitter, bitter pill to swallow for Newcastle United. The final whistle has gone. And I think Eddie Howe's out there shaking hands with the officials, but asking the question, why didn't you blow the final whistle when you had the opportunity with the 4 minutes gone? But they got one last chance, Barcelona. And all good sides like them can do damage in those situations, and they did. A foul on the substitute Dani Olmo by Malik Chow, and from the spots Lamine Yamal equalising on a big night for Newcastle United. It was nearly a great night for Newcastle United, but they're still in with a chance, a fighting chance at the Camp Nou in 8 days' time. 1-1, it's finished here, and well, second leg to come. Be sure to join us for that next week. Thank you very much for your company. It's been a pleasure having you along with us this evening at St James's Park. This game still very much in the balance, unlike the other two tonight. Atletico Madrid 5, Tottenham 2 still playing in that one. Atalanta 1, Bayern 6. That's finished. Second legs of both those games could be as good as obsolete. Well, second leg of this one to look forward to. Should be a cracker, but it's finished here. Newcastle 1, Barcelona 1. Have a good night, everyone.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok.